Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing GP Bikes once again. Of course, did a video on GP Bikes a few days ago, and now we're back with another video here today. And we're going to be using nothing but helmet cam in today's video on board Valentino Rossi's Honda RC211V from 2002. Now the whole idea was I wanted the Honda from 2003, but unfortunately I only had the 2002 version, which is not a problem, it's still very close, it's very similar in many ways, and I wanted to do it right here at Phillip Island, or of course as it's known in the game as the Victoria Circuit. So basically, a few days ago, whilst I was waiting for MotoGP to start this weekend, I started to watch some older Grand Prix just to get myself in the mood for MotoGP, which I'm always in the mood for MotoGP, of course. And the choice of race that I picked was the Valentino Rossi dominant performance in Australia in 2003, the one where he had a penalty for overtaking under a yellow flag in turn 4 of Honda right here in Phillip Island. So I was inspired to use the older Honda right here in Phillip Island, and I thought, why not jump onto GP Bikes once again? I actually didn't intentionally use the helmet cam at first. I was using the normal third-person perspective, and I was getting rather into it, and then I decided, let's do a video, and let's do the video with helmet cam as well. And in this video I'm just going to be slowly improving and getting better at GP Bikes, and I must mention the sense of accomplishment and pride toward the end of my recording session, and it's really beginning to grow on me why GP Bikes is so important and how satisfying it is to finally nail it. Now of course, when you play GP Bikes, when you're using the MotoGP machines, a lot of the assists are turned off, and you cannot use the bikes with these assists turned on. So for example, automatic braking, manual gears, you have to have them on manual. If you have them on automatic, the bikes just will not work. And it's really given me a sense of appreciation and more love and feedback for the bikes, because I'm having to use everything now and to really dig down deep, because unfortunately myself, I don't actually use manual gears when playing MotoGP or even in Ride 4. I tend to use them as a semi-automatic where I would downshift myself and only upshift in specific corners. But for me, this is a brilliant experience to play. Now I mentioned before that the graphics themselves, they aren't mind-blowing or anything like that, but the feeling of the bike is just so good. And the helmet cam is just epic. I mean, look at it, it's beautiful. The way the rider hangs off the bike, the way the rider manoeuvres around on this machine is just really great, and I have had an absolute blast of a time. The link is in the description down below if you want to check out GP Bikes. You can download a demo and try it out for yourself, and honestly, I implore you to do so, because the fun I had with this, and this was only intentionally just maybe a couple of laps just to see how I could get on and see if I could improve. And then it became really serious to think, you know what, I really want to start setting some decent lap times. So the sense of just passion and energy that was given to me just from hoping to improve and just doing the laps over and over again, because I think the achievement in itself is to complete a lap or two without crashing. And once you get that sort of feeling and feedback knowing that I'm okay, I'm not going to crash, got the gears alright, I'm learning it a little bit better now, so keep on going. And the feeling I had was certainly something I want to share with you guys, because that is why gaming, in my opinion, is so enjoyable. That sense of repetition to succeed and the constant pushing to become better is of course why you guys sometimes check out my guide videos. My braking guide videos for both MotoGP and Ride 4 have well over 30,000 views now, and the feedback I get from being able to assist others is just fantastic. And I guess I would like to then move across to GP Bikes and hopefully give some tips and tricks on this wonderful and magnificent bike game as well. I am still on the hunt for more mods, and of course let me know in the comment section down below what more mods you would suggest for me to download. Anything from bikes and paints to other tracks, and maybe even some additional liveries as well. Now I did use the helmet cam as well, because the Honda has Dainese leathers, of course, because it's Valentino Rossi, and for some strange reason when I use the Dainese leathers in Modern Set 2, I believe it is, they don't give me any shadows. I know I've probably set something up incorrectly, but I don't exactly know what it is, so if anyone knows, let me know in the comment section down below, because I'm trying to figure that one out. And that was one of the main reasons I decided to jump into the helmet cam, because the third-person perspective just had well, the shadow was only the helmets, there was nothing for the rider positioning, and it looked kind of weird. So I decided to jump in the helmet cam, and of course, you guys like helmet cam, and now after playing GP Bikes helmet cam, I think this is the definitive best ever helmet cam in bikes racing. Totally. Rims Racing does it extremely well. MotoGP Ride 4, they do a good job, but this one definitely is just the most enjoyable. It felt more realistic, and I felt better on the bikes with helmet cam than I did from the third person perspective, and that's not often I would say that, because I spend a lot of time in the third person perspective, from MotoGP to Ride 4 to Rims to even now GP Bikes, but the helmet cam transition has been absolutely fantastic, and I'm certainly enjoying my time. But as you can see, we're coming across our 16th lap now. Some of them I had a bit of crashes, and we're going to get a better indication of the lap times later on, and I'm probably going to start trying to sort of edit the lap times into the video so you guys can see. But for the time being, I don't actually know what lap time I'm on. It's a simple case of just trying to get the feeling and to go back to the pits and have a look and see if it's any good or not. Depending on what bike you use, of course, some of them will tell you what lap time you're on. This one clearly doesn't, because of course it's an old electronics package for the Honda RC211V. But as far as the lap times go, looking at the lap times and seeing how you have improved and just seeing them come down ever so slightly, and to also have the feeling of just I'm pushing a little bit more now than I was, and the extra pushing and the determination to continue to succeed is certainly what's going to keep me coming back to GP Bikes for a long time. Now you can probably tell already that I am beginning to get better and to have a better feeling with the bike, and I'm also beginning to push a little bit more, which is absolutely fine, which you're supposed to be doing, because the idea is you continue to do your laps, you feel like you've got the confidence to continue to push even more, and that is exactly what I've got the feeling of now. And this is why I really wanted to make this video, because you can start off watching the video and I might not be that quick, I'm a bit slow in some corners, a little bit nervous and twitchy depending on what the corner is, and then we start building our confidence up, getting really low into the floor and just start pushing as maximum. And unfortunately, bad things happen when you do that, but it's important not to lose your momentum and continue to push as the best way you possibly can. So a solid string of runs there of good lap times that I'm quite happy with. They're not the best lap times in the world, but the lap times I'm quite happy with for this point forward. So now it's a simple case of not losing the momentum, not getting disheartened by a simple crash. We have to forget about that, get back onto the motorcycle, get out of the pits, and start tackling this wonderful circuit once again. So these next couple of lap times, guys, are going to be some serious stuff from me. I'm going to try and produce the best possible lap times I can within GP Bikes right here in Phillip Island on board the Repsol Honda from 2002. So now it is going into the left-hander for Siberia. On the left-hand side for a long time, you bring on the acceleration, upshifting, going into towards the rumble strip there. I'm still learning the gears, I'm still getting better and better at that. I still sometimes forget what gear I'm in, and maybe I don't downshift enough, or maybe I'll downshift too many times and end up crashing, but I've gone a little bit wide there, so not great. Still in third gear as well, so not getting much acceleration coming out of the corner, but we'll learn, we'll keep on getting better. But the next couple of lap times I'm going to start getting the confidence. We know what the limit is, and that was towards the end of the lap, getting a little bit too confident and a little bit too cocky going into the left-hander and just leaning on the rumble strip way too much, and of course doing so caused a bad end to the run of good run, I would say we had. A good positive run of just good lap times. Nothing too amazing, nothing too incredible, but it's happy that we're continuing to push and to continue to improve. So underneath the Piboso sign for, of course, our developer of this wonderful game, and now it's time to really chuck in the best possible lap times I can do. So onto the left-hand side we will go on the part that caught us out just a lap ago before we went into the pits. And now let's bring on the power not to touch the green grass on the right-hand side there. Did do it a little bit, but now we're on to full acceleration mode, 6th gear, 190 miles an hour, braking down, dropping it down into 3rd gear, quite, yes. We're getting on the right-hand side, up into 4th gear, and then we'll begin to chuck it into the left-hander. Now you can see I'm beginning to get that momentum. The confidence is brewing now, and the bike is looking a little bit more stable. It's looking like it's got a bit more energy to it, a bit more life to be able to push around this wonderful circuit. And now onto the left-hand side, going into the Stoner corner. We'll keep it on the left-hand side, dropping it down in a couple of gears in a moment's time, just so we can get into the right-hander for Honda for turn 4. And now on the right-hand side, we'll go for 1st gear. We've got to be very careful now coming out of the corner, because if you bring on the acceleration a bit too much, first gear is going to be an absolute killer for you on that one. So now coming out of Siberia, ran it a little bit too wide there, but it's quite okay. We can get the acceleration correctly, get near to the rumble strip and keep it on the left hand side. I did find I was going too tight to the apex on this corner, so I've still got that to learn and to improve upon, but now on the right hand side. And actually, for the fun fact, I crashed here in the review and it ended my run of decent lap times back in the review event many moons ago. But as far as this one goes, didn't crash into Lukey Heights and it didn't crash into turn 10. Very confident going into the most difficult and innocuous corner of Phillip Island, but now onto the left hand side. We'll be going into the final two corners, or now into the final corner, going in possibly fourth gear, holding the line, trying to keep well away from the rumble strip. Not going to touch that once again because of course things ended in tears last time, and let's bring on the power for another solid lap time. Quite happy with that one so far. Unfortunately, did make a couple of mistakes going into the into Siberia. Was a little bit too wide. Into Honda for turn 4 as well. It went a little bit pear-shaped, but not too bad. Of course, going into first gear into the left-hander was not a bad job. Now tackling the southern loop, a little bit wide, but we'll get the exit going straight and narrow towards the rumble strip if we can. Not the smoothest of exits of corners, but I'm still happy with that one regardless, and I'm still getting better and we're learning the way. Eventually it's going to be like absolutely smooth butter when we get this one completed and done it properly, but for the time being I'm happy with these couple of lap times. I'm pushing the bike a little bit too much now. I'm getting that extra feeling because I've got to tell you, I don't push the triggers very hard in GP bikes. I'm very gentle. I very rarely fully throttle in GP bikes, to be quite honest with you. I think you can tell because some of the corners I could probably gain a little bit extra speed just by opening the throttle just a little bit more. But now onto the left hand side we'll go, moving the bike across the track now, really chucking it left and right. You can see how it's getting better and better from the sort of gentle manoeuvres I was doing. I'm now doing it with conviction, with emphasis on really manoeuvring this Honda around this track, and it feels so much better now. The helmet cam is certainly a great place to learn GP bikes, and I would highly recommend you do so, and just really helps you get into the feel of it. The camera on the bike moves fantastically to give you that understanding of really looking into the corner and beyond it instead of just looking at the apex and causing yourself to crash. It does a wonderful job of helping you improve. So another confidence-inducing lap, and now we're going into the right-hander, still in 5th gear, dropping into 4th gear, ran it a little bit too wide, just touching the grass there, but we still seem to be absolutely fine, as we now get into the left-hand side for the southern loop. 3rd gear, dropping it down to 2nd, so probably don't drop it down to 1st, it's probably not necessary. 2nd gear is a nice balance of being able to bring on the throttle quite quickly, and also at the same time having a nice balance of speed and power. But now into the left hand side, very tight to the apex there for the Casey Stoner corner. Seemed to be a lot better going in that corner when nice and tight, but we're going to run it very deep. You can hear the brakes screeching all the time, using the rear brake and a lot of front brake of course to get this Honda stopped. We're looking a little bit better now going into the left-hander for Siberia, as we're now on the left-hand side, nice and tight to the apex, but a little bit too tight, just ever so slightly, because we practically went over the rumble strip, which is not a great idea to do. Kind of did the same there for that corner as well, but now onto the right-hand side, just approaching Lukey Heights for the left-hander. We're going to get into the left-hand side, hold the line if we can, run a little bit deep, but we're still looking pretty fine and dandy as we now go into the bottom part of the track, turn 10, nice and tight to the apex, looking better all the time, and then a bit too eager on the acceleration, and things come to a tragic end. But honestly, that doesn't even matter because that was a great run. Those are my lap times. You can probably tell from around lap 14 onwards is when I started to actually begin to really learn and understand it. So from lap 15 you can see a 1:39.605, an improvement then to a 1:37.4, another 1:37.4, and then of course a few laps where I didn't really do anything. And then after that one, that is where things changed. Getting down to a 1:35.658 for me was feeling fantastic, and of course the 1:35.7, very close to the previous lap time, very consistent. And honestly, I'm very proud of my accomplishments today. I've very much enjoyed my experience with GP bikes, and I still am to this day, and helmet cam just makes it even better. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know in the comments section down below. Are you going to download GP bikes? Let me know as well, because I'm curious to see if I've inspired you to play this game. But upon that note guys, thanks for watching as always. Like, comment and subscribe, hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.